Hello and welcome into the Sporting Pod. Along with Tony Allegretti and Mauricio Ruiz, I'm Cole Pepper. Today on the pod, getting ready for more work in the community, how Sporting JAX continues to grow the game and give back. More cup sets to discuss from the third round of the U.S. Open Cup, and the draw is out for the next round with MLS teams coming in. Plus, the Champions League is down to 4. We are fed by the Bearded Pig, locally owned and operated, with the original location in San Marco. Make sure you swing by the Bearded Pig for great barbecue and great times. There we go. All right, Tony, let's start with this. We mentioned on the pod previously that Sporting JAX Foundation had run a number of clinics in Warrington Park in Arlington, and now Phase 2 is beginning this weekend.
Phase 2 is this weekend. Yep, we're really excited. We have a great partner, sort of geographically, with KIPP Schools. So we're doing the clinics on their high school, Bold City High School football field, which is brand new AstroTurf. Really good because it's all weather, all ready to go, and we're really pumped about that partnership. We've got the word out to the surrounding area, got really good sign up so far, and we're ready to kick it off. We have high level coaching, and a lot of these kids are really looking for training that they're just not getting access to soccer in their area.
And you've already had a really good response for this, I understand. And if parents are out there listening to this pod thinking, boy, we've got to get the kids involved here. How can they do that?
Yeah, so it's really easy. You just go to sportingjax.com/foundation, and you'll see the sign up sheet. There's a little bit of a form to fill out and agree to, and it's just that simple. No money. We want kids of all sort of abilities. We've got tons of coaches, really sort of high level coaches, but are understanding of different abilities, and it's boys and girls. So we're ready, and really, I can't speak enough to the sort of assist that I get with Don Griffith and Mike Johnson. These are two high level coaches. They bring in high level coaches. Many of these coaches, were high school coaches at BK or different. I think Mike Johnson's coached at like everywhere, plus right. JU, plus UNF. Played pro. I mean, we're talking really great pedigree.
Yep.
And but what they really want to do is help kids and see the love of the game in these kids' eyes. That's what they're trying to do, and so it's amazing.
Now, I was out at the Warrington Park clinics and saw just that. I mean, the kids were having such a great time, and the community really was energized around what was happening there, which is, again, we've talked about this before. Yes, there will be a pro men's and women's soccer team on the field representing Jacksonville, but this is really at the core of what Sporting JAX and what most soccer clubs in America really should be and could be all about, which is growing the game and enhancing the community.
Well, you're absolutely right, because it's about impact, and the organization from our ownership to leadership and to everyone else around it, share the same vision that sport has a power to impact lives, and the vision to be able to bring what ultimately is an example where kids can see, they can visit, they can actually be a part of it. Changes lives, and with the foundation and many organizations that want to work with us, it creates this little micro ecosystems around the entire community. And so it doesn't feel like it's really far away. Like, one thing is to see a pro player at a stadium or on TV, but all of a sudden, when you see the organization come in your own backyard, it changes the entire landscape of how you see the game. And what Tony's doing and some of the activity that he's mentioned really brings soccer and brings Sporting JAX to your backyard in a way that is really not attainable in many other organizations. But that's the power that this organization has, and and I think soccer just kind of carries that a little bit differently than others.
Yep.
And I've never really been involved in too many different sports, to be honest. But it's pretty incredible the interest and the impact that a sport can have by rolling a soccer ball out there.
By the way, this is going on with some great high level coaching. Then once players start folding in, we'll have players out there, and I can't wait for that moment where a little 6-year-old girl realizes she's playing soccer, being coached and directed by a professional, a woman who is earning her living, earning her livelihood, representing Jacksonville, playing soccer. I can't wait for that.
And that's actually happening in a smaller way with our, because we have Division I players come out. So the UNF women and the like JU men, I think EWC is coming for this series as well.
Right.
So EWU.
Yep.
My bad.
Right.
Yep. They want to get that right. So it's already, we already see that. Like, we already see it. It's just some of the photos, like, it's just amazing. It's really great. And we're gonna Stacy's already asked me about it. Mark, we've had lunch with MJ, and we really it's an important part of this club.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we want to remind you that season tickets are on sale now for the USL Super League 2025-2026 season, when Sporting Jacks will debut at Hodges Stadium on the UNF campus. Season tickets start as low as $10 per game for students, $12 per game for supporters, and $15 a game for general admission. There are premium and field seating available as well. The field seating continues to go very fast. It's been the most popular in terms of early sales here.
Right.
So if you want to get the field seating, it's limited. I think there are only 100 seats in total, something like that. So join the movement by securing your 2025-2026 season tickets today. You'll also receive a limited edition inaugural season scarf. There's also an installment plan available with all the benefits of season ticket ownership from your first installment payment. Go to sportingjacks.com/tickets or call 904-863-KICK to join the movement and be a part of
her story.
There you go. All right, U.S. Open Cup. Tony, we had some cup sets.
Yeah.
But let me give you the high level here. In the third round, 11 USL Championship teams won and advanced.
Yes.
4 USL League One teams advanced.
Yes.
1 MLS Next Pro Club advanced. Tacoma Defiance, despite a red card, beat Oakland Roots. And no NPSL team, El Farolito, Mauricio, I'm sorry to say, did not find their way past Sacramento Republic after a game effort, 1-0, Sac Republic with the win.
They still won the money.
They won the money as the longest-lasting, lowest division, non-fully professional.
It's 25 grand?
Something like that.
It's like many burritos.
Yeah, that's a lot of burritos. There's no doubt about it. So
a lot of tacos.
The draw is out now. Let me just give you the matches, because this is the round where the U.S. Open Cup welcomes in MLS clubs. It will be San Jose Earthquakes hosting Sacramento Republic. Rhode Island FC hosting New England Revolution. That's a good regional battle there. Chicago.
That could be their first. Are they doing it in their stadium?
Yes.
Okay, so I think
First
that's
Open Cup match in their stadium, yeah.
Well, first match in their stadium would be, I believe.
I think.
Hey, we need our fact-checking friend here. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll follow up on that, or YouTube. You can do that because Google exists for all humans.
Yes.
Chicago Fire hosts Detroit City FC. Pittsburgh Riverhounds will host NYC FC. Philly Union against Indy 11. North Carolina FC against Charlotte FC. That's a nice little derby there. DC United hosting Charleston Battery. Tampa Bay Rowdies will host Orlando City. That's May 5th, Cinco de Mayo in Tampa, everybody.
Yeah.
Make plans now. Tacoma Defiance hosting Portland Timbers. Lou City hosting Minnesota United. St. Louis City hosting Omaha, Union Omaha. And Phoenix Rising hosting the Houston Dynamo. So that is the round here. Again, we mentioned 11 USL Championship teams on. And because the top teams from last season in MLS, who are either playing in Nations League or what have you, not all of them are in. I wonder, again, will this be a year that we see a USL Championship team hoist the cup at the end?
Mal?
Whoa. I mean, I think we're doing a little bit disservice to the USL League One teams. I mean, there are so many of them. There were a lot of upsets.
Yeah, they knocked out a lot of championship teams. Yep.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. I mean, you look at Union Omaha and AV Alta. I mean, Chattanooga Wolves. I mean, there's some but I don't know. I don't know if we went back last year. I'm not the researcher of this pod over here, Tony.
Yeah. Well, I clearly am. So, this round last year, I think like 4 USL teams survived.
And by the way, I'm sorry, I shifted. Those are the first page of games. So I left out some.
Yeah, because there's Red Bulls are in the West. No, that is the West.
Red Bulls have to go to Colorado Springs. El Paso goes to Austin. FC Dallas hosts AV Alta. That's the USL League One team. Nashville hosting Chattanooga Red Wolves.
AV Alta has never lost a game. Little fun fact here from your fact-checking friend.
You go.
Yeah. So. Well, to answer your question, Cole, I think that a lot of the lower division teams tend to put a lot more emphasis and priority into the U.S. Open Cup, especially in the earlier rounds, as if we can call this. MLS now are coming into the early rounds, but the USL Championship and League One teams, I mean, the 4 of them that are survived, I think, they have what it takes to get through the next couple rounds. Now, do they have the depth to go through as they're dealing with their own local league, domestic league, plus U.S. Open Cup? I think that's yet to be determined. We've only had a few teams that have gone to the final, Sacramento Republic, a few years back, and lost to Orlando City. And then, last year you had Indy 11 getting to the Final Four, I believe it was, a quarterfinal.
Semi,
the Final Four, right? So, I think a lot more teams, because if this qualifies you for CONCACAF Champions League.
Right.
So the power that if you can actually put some emphasis behind this, and knowing, once again, based on the UF in the US USL playoff system, I mean, look at Indy 11, like they put all their eggs, into the USL Open Cup basket, and they still finished 4th in the league. Maybe they kind of got a little fatigued at the end. I think that's the risk that you run when you put your focus on one tournament versus the other. But I mean, if you feel strong about your roster and you feel like you can challenge, especially after this round, we'll know a lot more after this round when MLS teams come in, right? But I do think a lot more emphasis from USL Championship teams specifically, and apparently League One as well, is going into US Open Cup because of that CONCACAF berth opportunity. Not just the money, but the exposure that it comes with it. I think that's vital.
Yep. And I think we should predict how many USL teams come out of this round of 32. I'm going to say 5.
5. Okay. All right. I'm going to go 7.
Wow.
Yeah. I like their chances.
Wow.
Okay. I may be overshooting here.
You probably won't be able to find this on YouTube later on.
To your point about the money, overall champion gets $300,000 and a berth in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Runner-up gets $100K. The furthest advancing team from each lower division league receives $25,000. So the $25,000 from most furthest advancing MLS Next Pro team is already cooked. Tacoma Defiance wins that. Remains to be seen about USL League One and USL Championship. But there is some money and prestige on the line.
I think it's more money this year too, right? I think the total purse is bigger than normal or years past.
You may be right.
Or maybe it's next year.
Let's get our researcher on this.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Hisham. Yeah.
All right. Hey, for more on Sporting Jacks on TV and radio, you've got 3 great options for you, or choose them all. The Sporting Jacks Report, noon Saturdays on NBC before Premier League coverage. Join us every Tuesday at 6 p.m. for the Coaches Show on 1010XL. You can listen online and on demand at 1010XL.com as Mark Warburton and Stacey Balaam join me. And now, the Sporting Jacks Soccer Hour every Thursday night at 6 on AM 930, Fox Sports Radio Jacksonville. Mauricio, Becky Burley, and myself kick it around for an hour every Thursday night. All right, on to Champions League. They're down to 4. Barca and Inter, Arsenal and PSG. So you have one team from Spain, one team from Italy, one team from England, one team from France. Of the big 5, only Germany was left out. Bayern gave it a good run but didn't get there. Your expectations looking forward, Tony and Mao, about these semifinal legs that begin on April the 29th and 30th.
Mao, you want to go first?
Go ahead, Tony.
Okay, so, my expectations, my first one is I really don't think Arsenal can keep playing at this level. I think they beat probably the world's best team. You know, they outclassed them. They look great. I don't know that they've got enough in the tank to finish it off.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that.
Might be able to find this on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to regret it. But that's my one sort of thing that I just kind of got this feeling. I think Inter is playing pretty amazing, and I think sleepers do well in Champions League. You know, a lot of pressure is on the expectation side of the match. So. Yeah, I'm looking at Inter and I'm looking at Arsenal to fall off.
Okay, so you're expecting an Inter PSG final then?
Yeah.
Okay. Mao?
Well, I'll like to call upon our researcher again. And
Hisham.
Because when you look at these 4 teams, right, you got really from a Champions League stature standpoint, it's really Barcelona. I mean, Inter has had some history in it, but PSG and Arsenal have never won. Barcelona has history, but who on their roster has that history? It's a young team.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Lewandowski maybe, who's in their midfield that's been over the edge? Like really no one. So when I'm looking at these 4 teams, even though the badges are recognizable, the players that are that are representing the teams, none of them have the prestige or the caliber that have made that experience before all the way through. So I think it's a bit of a toss-up. If you talk about the team that's playing the best football, you would have to go with PSG. They're the most dangerous team. They're the ones that can kill you on a counterattack. Defensively, probably Inter in the display that they gave you yesterday. But I would have to go with the team that has the biggest carryover from a Champions League kind of pedigree, which is Barcelona.
Yeah.
I think there's just an expectation that Barcelona gets to Champions League finals. And those players, those La Masia players and players that have gone through the system that are there now, I think they just carry that swagger. And I tend to agree with Tony. I don't think Arsenal has what it takes to kind of get through. Now, I'm happy to be wrong. As you guys know, I'm an Arsenal supporter. But do they have what it takes to kind of get over the edge? We haven't seen that in the Prem over the last few years. They always kind of slow down at the back end. So my money will be on Barcelona. It'll be a Barcelona PSG final.
All right, I'm just going to throw this out there from an Arsenal perspective. Listen, all of these clubs are going to be putting their focus on Champions League, but Arsenal doesn't have to worry about the Prem at this point. They're not going to win it. They're going to wind up in a Champions League spot. They're almost locked into second right now.
Yeah.
So they don't have to even think. I mean, if it's a 50-50 decision about whether to start a player who maybe, during a Premier League fixture that, okay, well, he might go for an extra couple of days of rest and we'll play him in the Champions League. They can make that call very easily.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw that in as one component to what's going on here. And I understand and agree with what you're talking about with regard to Arsenal fading at the end of competitions in the recent past. But I'm not counting them out on this. I think they are a team to watch. And, I think I have a higher expectation of them than you guys do at this point. But we'll see how it all plays out when those games come up. Now, I will also point out that the semifinal legs, April 29th and 30th, then May 6th and 7th. The finals on May 31st. Last couple of years, we've done Champions League finals watch parties at Island Wing Company. And it just so happens Brian Hood from Island Wing Company is here. And we haven't formalized the announcement on a watch party. However, I will say, Tony, that
without a doubt,
you can watch the game at Island Wing Company because of the Your Match Is On
promotion. Well,
campaign
is better.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
It's going on. Brian, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so let's talk about this Your Match Is On approach that Island Wing Company is taking here for soccer fans.
Yeah, so, I would if you don't mind, Brian. Yeah, so one of the things that I love about Island Wings, multiple things, but one of the main things is that if you want to go in and you're game is on, right? Your match is on, but you get there and it's not on any of the 11 billion televisions that are in there. You can literally ask your server. And so I thought, this is a great concept. And Brian, if you can just kind of talk about how that works with you guys when someone walks in and they want to watch something.
Yeah, appreciate that. We're here for the guests, and specifically in this case with Sporting Club JAX for the soccer fans of Jacksonville. We get support from so many soccer families and so forth. So we want to be able to give back. We have 85 televisions in the Bartram location. It's just a really relaxing, convenient place for the families to come out and be able to watch the games, have fun, sit inside, sit outside on the huge patio, couches, whatever it may be. But whatever they want to watch, we have DirecTV. We pay for a ton of extra channels, and we have multiple streaming options that we do as well. So you want a soccer game on that may not be on the television in front of you right now, just got to ask your server, ask the manager, and we're going to do our best. If it's on and we've got it, we're putting it on for you.
And that's at all locations. You mentioned the 85 TVs at Bartram, but you've got locations Southside, Fleming Island.
Yep, just opened in Fleming Island. Yep, only 65 TVs in Southside. And 61 in Fleming Island. So we slacked a little there. We apologize.
Can still watch anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is amazing. And what I love too. So the last Champions League final we did with Jimmy at Southside and at Bartram. So we did a duel, and I think we probably should do that this year because it's just such a good crowd, right? The watch parties are amazing, and really Southside's kind of like the watch party district because like AO does their thing at the bottlenose or whatever, and then Cole Haynes is obviously a big Arsenal bar and all that, and so there's already kind of a gravitational pull when there's a big match, and so I love that hospitality part when we're doing stuff and we can set up the table and get information about the club. But I also just love going in and having some wings and having my match put on.
Yeah, and when you have so many people for a big match like that, the energy in the room is great. It's not quite being in the stadium, but. Listen, if you're not going to travel to Berlin this year, or was it Munich? In Germany, wherever they're playing the final this year, I think it's Munich. Listen, it gives you that fever and that flavor of the energy of the crowd into it and following it. And I was at the Southside location last year, and the place was just jam-packed with soccer fans, and everybody was watching, and just on every kick of the ball they were following.
Yeah, the vibe's phenomenal, and the ability to get a lot of people in our restaurants, which is great because they're good size, obviously, just makes a big difference to be able to create that energy. And everybody going nuts, having a great time with it. It's just fantastic. We love it.
I was just going to say, too, you'll see from Sporting Club JAX, you'll see some promo on this, which I'll have a little more detail about this, but just know if your team's in the Bundesliga or even the Championship or, Super League, if it's on Peacock, if it's on ESPN Plus, Paramount, these guys, they can get it. And so it's amazing. And tons of national teams. I mean, these guys are ready for us. So I'm loving that.
I also want to point out the other brand under the Island Wing Company umbrella, which is Toasted Yolk. Obviously, hours vary from between Island Wing and Toasted Yolk, and it's perfect for if you want to get up early for those Premier League matches. And Tony, speaking of watch parties,
super excited. We're going to do a couple pop-ups for the pop-ups for the Premier League. The 26th, which is there's some London club, Chelsea, I think is what they're called, versus Everton. And that's on the 26th.
Totally non-self-serving that Tony chose that.
Yeah,
date,
so weird. So weird. So 7:30 in the morning. This is the Toasted Yolk on Fleming Island. How long's that been open?
We opened November 18th over there, so it's still fresh and new, and just loving Fleming Island. The folks over there are just fantastic.
Yeah, so we're bringing the crew out. It's a pop-up, so we're going to have just swag and giveaways and stuff like that. We'll spin the wheel wheel. I think there's we got some new scratch off things, so it's lots of fun. You'll eat, and you'll get some Sporting Jacks info and swag, etc. Then the second one is the May 3rd, and that is same Fleming Toasted Yolk pop-up Premier League. It's really kind of the end of the Premier League season, so we're just going to go out with a splash.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, well, Brian, thank you so much for coming in. Looking forward to more watch parties at Island Wing and at Toasted Yolk. We'll see how those mornings are for Tony.
No, I'm going to be great. So, that day, the first one, the 26th, get up, do the Toasted Yolk. Then I'm heading to the clinic, right? Because we got 6 weeks of clinics, and then we're heading to Tampa to watch the Sun play someone. Fort Lauderdale, maybe. Yeah. So it's just
we'll get a shot.
24 hours of soccer for your boy.
That's going to be a big old Saturday, is what we call that in the business. All right. Brian, thanks so much.
We got a full bar for Tony, too, at Toasted Yolk. Plenty of Bloody Marys, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Well, you got a busy day, though. Maybe not.
That's a great point. I'll probably shan't that day. But you never know, because we are taking a bus to Tampa. I don't know.
Yeah.
I may have to wait.
Could go mimosas.
After the clinic.
Yeah. All right, Brian, thanks so much.
Yeah.
All right, also want to remind you that if you're not ready to become a season ticket member of Sporting Jacks, you can become a member. Join Sporting Jacks membership. It's absolutely free. Just go to sportingjacks.com. You get discounts on Sporting Jacks official club merchandise, invitations to attend exclusive insider events, automatic chances to win special prizes and experiences, and receive the Sporting Jacks email newsletter. Place a deposit on your season tickets while you're there if you like, and receive first access to seats and a special limited edition Sporting Jacks founding member pin while supplies last.
Yeah, and we need you. Let me also just tell you that May 11th is Mother's Day, and I heard from your mom that she would like season tickets to Sporting Jacks.
That's what she said.
Yep.
Yeah. Or that's what she said.
Okay.
Either way.
Yeah, that's not great on Mother's Day.
I'll fill you in on the backstory. All right, finally, Premier League this week. And speaking of those Premier League matches, what catches your eye this week, Mauricio? Which Premier League matchup are you most looking forward to this weekend?
Well, because we're talking about that chase for Champions League positioning, I think all eyes have to be on Aston Villa and Newcastle because they're riding the mix. And it's about, I think we did the math yesterday. I think it's 6 teams that are really pushing for 2 positions or maybe 3 positions that are available. And Aston Villa and Newcastle have a direct impact on how everybody else ranks in those teams. So definitely keeping my eyes on that one.
Yeah, I think that's the one that a lot of people, and that'll follow us, by the way, on NBC 12 after the Sporting Jacks report. Tony, how about you?
Well, he stole mine, as he does a lot.
He's that way.
He's kind of like that. Well, and I'm going to say the same one because Newcastle throttled Palace yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that one. And Palace is not a bad team, and so I think Newcastle is on a roll, and I think they keep rolling.
5-0 yesterday, and 5 straight victories for Newcastle, and they've hopped Forest up to 3rd in the table. By the way, I'll just point this out. If you go from the 5 spots that will be available for the Champions League in the Premier League, that's right now Man City at 55 points. Following, Chelsea 54, Villa 54, Bournemouth 48, Fulham 48, Brighton 48.
It's anybody.
The top 10, all these clubs have something to play for in terms of a European positioning. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Sporting Pod. Thanks so much for being in here once again, Brian. We'll look forward to seeing you at Island Wing Company and the Toasted Yolk. For Mauricio Ruiz and Tony Allegretti, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for listening to The Sporting Pod. I'm Maddox.